Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam. All right. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Most High and His Son, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well, and sincerity taught us His truth. And Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect, 144,000 men, as well as one third, men, women, and children, maintaining themselves, keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of their ability. It's your brother Yerami Kazak back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. As we always state, those are the true names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yahawah equals He is, He exists. Yahawashi equals He delivers, He saves, He is salvation. He delivers, all the same thing, And Kakadash equals a spirit that's holy, a spirit that's set apart, right? And that's in the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashawan Kadash. What our people spoke, and our people meaning the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay, whose bloodline indeed goes back to their respective tribes upon the chart, which you see in front, right? And also the speckled bird, which are foreign, in Israel, individuals that may look like the heathen, but they are indeed Israelites. They have the salt, they have the spirit, and it vibrates out of them that they are Israelites. Their bloodline goes back to these tribes, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's important to know. We don't judge off of appearance. We judge righteous judgment, as Yahawashi stated. All right, and as it was prophesied for him to do in Isaiah the 11th chapter. Right? Now, this one will be a continuation of the lesson that I did at camp, talking about artificial society, talking about the internet and all of that. All right, and I'm gonna just go right into it. Let's keep going. Let's pick it up at Matthew 12 and 33. Either make the tree good and his fruit good, or else make the tree corrupt and his fruit corrupt. For the tree is known by his fruit. O generation of vipers, how can ye, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Right? So understanding this is you can't straddle the fence. You can't be on both sides. You know what I'm saying? You're either gonna be wicked or you're gonna be righteous. If you're trying to play both sides, then you're wicked. It's just straight like that. You're wicked. Because you're trying to serve Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, and you're also trying to serve money. Okay? You're trying to hold on to a piece of the world, and you're trying to be in this truth. And that's not how it works. All right? So Yahawashi was talking to the Pharisees and saying, a generation of vipers, man, how can you, being evil, he's calling them evil, how can ye, being evil, speak good things? It can't. You can't speak good things out of you, because your root, your origin, what's inside of you, your eye being single, their eye is full of they took in, ingested nothing but darkness. So therefore, what comes out of them is darkness. Your body, if you look at it in a spiritual sense, it's like a factory, and you're bringing in what you bring in is like the production line. You're bringing in this, you're bringing in that. All right, you're listening to this, you're listening to that. Okay, and that's gonna eventually, it's gonna show in your character. It's gonna show in the way that you talk, what you say, your doctrine. That's why, hey, you watching the elders and bishops and apostles of Great Millstone. It's gonna show, man, the doctrine, right? You reading the Bible properly and correctly, and you studying, you watching lessons, it's gonna come out. If you're not, that's gonna show as well. Okay, so the Pharisees, they're a generation of vipers. It was showing that they were evil, so they couldn't speak good things. Even through their schemes and their plots, they came and they said, how are we gonna catch him in a lie? How are we gonna? They just assumed that Yahawashi was lying or doing this and that. He can't be who he say he is, because they didn't have no faith. They enjoyed the seat. They sat on the seat of Moses, and they enjoyed that seat. Okay? Verse 35. A good man out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. So everything that transpires, everything that happens, done in the dark, done in the light, publicly, privately, whatever, okay, it's on record. You having a report is in the heavens. Every single individual, okay? So it's not on you to worry about, hey, man, this brother wicked, man. Hey, man, I gotta, it's not on you. Hey, let's say it's an individual is wicked. He's doing this, he's doing that. You know, it's no way to prove it, okay? But you saw it happen, and you can't prove it. Okay, so what? Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is eventually gonna handle that situation. You gotta have that faith, you know, to allow it to be. We see all these individuals, like we say, man, content creators, right? They on the internet, they doing this, they doing that, they making thousands, millions of dollars, you know, and they're not. It's not really hard work, none of that, right? They're aligned with the world. Cause and that goes to show, man, money's not the standard. Money's not an implication or a validation that Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is dealing with you. Okay, he's giving these people all this money and a temporary good life in a sense, right? For a time period, but he's setting them up where mentally, spiritually, psychologically, they don't care about Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. They don't know him. He's the true defense, right? We the ones that's truly studying, growing, and moving the proper way, in the correct way, we're growing in hard work. We're growing in dedication. We're growing in consistency. We're growing in commitment, right? And the stuff that you need to grow in. So our roots are strong. These individuals that's growing off of fame, money, lust, dollar signs, artificial society, right? A man-made, something set up by Esau Edom to give you a sense of pleasure, all that's going to come toppling down very soon. And then they're going to look around and be like, yo, what was we trusting in? And they're going to want to see. Amos 8 and 12. Okay? When the feminine word truly hits, when everything that they look for is done away with. Or as it states in Isaiah 19 chapter, they're gonna seek to the divinations, the people that do divination, the wizards, the warlocks, right? They're gonna go after these witches, all these individuals that's saying this and saying that. Zodiac sign people, okay? Horoscope reading people. You know, they're gonna seek. Because everybody trying to be spiritual. Okay? That's why you gotta understand. Yeah, everybody got a spirit on them. But is it the Holy Spirit? Is it Rakakadash? Everybody has a spirit on them. Okay? So let's read that one more time. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. So somebody talking trash, boom, 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 you know, it is what it is. We sit back and let Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi work and let him bring forth the vengeance. Let him bring forth that judgment. It's not for you to go forth and carry it out. Understanding this, hey, we seeing. I watched the Elder Yasharahla video this morning on Bishop Nathaniel. You know, talking about we don't hate the YT man. We don't hate the Edomites. When that's not the right spirit to have. This dude said, Bishop Nathaniel said that, yeah, God hates Edom. We don't. Well, last time I checked, we was made in the image. Okay? That means the likeness. We should have the ways of Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi. So we should be moving in the ways of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. We should be doing the will of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. So if he hates evil and he hates Edom for a particular reason, you know, Amos 1 and 11, Genesis 27, and 41, 42, okay? Edom, Esau has broke that covenant, that brotherly covenant, over and over and over. All right, he's never held back. He has perpetual hatred. Okay, so we do, yes, we indeed hate him. Now, to go into that, this society is so arrogant, so ignorant, and it's so emotion driven. Where if we say we hate something, they automatically think of violence. No, bro, I hate being broke. Okay, am I about to, like, you know what I'm saying? I hate when somebody at the drive through mess up my order. If I ever go to a fast food place, I remember in the world, you get home and you find out you only got 2 burgers, but you ordered 4, some shit like that. I hate when, I hate going to work. I hate it's just, so am I gonna fight the corporation that I work for? No, you hate things. The scripture says to hate the evil. Let's go to Amos. You're supposed to hate evil. So if an individual is evil, hey, I hate the sin that we see our brothers and sisters committing. This is Amos 5:15. Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that Yahawah, power of hosts, will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph. So how are you an Israelite out here, and you a leader of a camp, and you talking about we don't hate the Edomites, when that's your arch nemesis? That's your it's what it is, man. All right? From the beginning, you have a nation set up for salvation, a nation set up for destruction. That nation set up for salvation is the Israelites, Israel, Yasharahla. That nation set up for destruction is the Edomites. That's just point blank, period. Okay? But you don't hate them, and the Most High hates them. So you're not doing the Most High's will. You're not in the mind. You don't have the mind of Hamashiach upon you, and it shows. Because you don't call upon Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You call upon Most High Christ blessed. So if anybody is still running after that folly, then hey man, you deserve it. Okay? All right, let's keep it going. This is verse 37. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. So what you speak, the way you carry yourself, the way you conduct yourself, all right? These things are important. You gotta, don't be hasty to do anything. All right? Don't rush to do anything. Observe a situation before you speak, before you talk. The internet is what? It's quick. It's fast. It pushes it out automatically. It gives you this. It gives you that. It pushes propaganda in your face. It's nothing more than a propaganda machine if you don't have discernment. All right? If you don't got proper discernment, the internet is going to tear you down. They're gonna put fake news here, fake news there, and it's gonna twirl you around like a little baby, man. You're gonna be thinking that this is real, this is real, this is real. You're gonna be doing this and doing that, okay? Because you haven't grew up in the spirit. You haven't practiced discernment. You haven't built that. You don't learn how to chew the meat, spit out the bones. Right? Everything that these Edomites is saying in these podcasts ain't true, bro. Okay? Everything that these individuals are saying is not correct. It's not proper. Scripture states not to trust your enemy. So something, especially when an Edomite talk, hey, I need 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 witnesses. Right? I gotta make sure this is factual. Right? Because they wicked, they inherently wicked, man, by nature. And we hate that. All right? I hate a liar. And Esau is the original liar. Okay? Let's go to Psalms in the 78th chapter. And I'll start at the top. And it reads, "Give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us." Hey, we seeing right now, you know, the elder has said this at camp, after camp. You know, it's like our kids is a first generation. You got a first generation of Israelites. They didn't know nothing else. They just Israelites. They didn't have to grow up in the world. They didn't grow up like my daughter is never gonna do a Christmas, bro. She's never gonna do an Easter. You know, she has a Hebrew name. She's growing up in the truth. Like we didn't grow up like that. We grew up in bullshit. We didn't. Our parents didn't know. So now we're seeing a generation of kids that's growing up in the truth. You know, so it's beautiful, and this is what was stated, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. Stuff was passed down, right? This is how a lot of the stuff is, yeah, through the spirit. And Yahawah, like he would allow a prophet like Daniel, right? He allowed Daniel to remember the entire dream that Nebuchadnezzar had. He gave him the entire dream and allowed him to remember it. Memory was sharp. That's through Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And that furthermore shows you how polluted that this world is now, when you can't remember what you did last Thursday at 8 o'clock. You can't remember that. You can't. But memories used to be sharper. That's something that comes with the internet. It destroys your memory. Okay? And that's scientifically proven, where you got everybody taking pictures now. You want to take a picture, but you don't want to live in the moment. If you live in the moment, you'll be able to retain and remember that situation, that memory, more than if you take a picture of it. And that's what most individuals don't understand. When you take a picture, then you're not going to remember that moment in your brain like that. It's going to be in your phone, But if you just live in it, then when you go to recollect it in your mind, it'll be easier to remember it and recite and go through it all. So these phones are detrimental. It's pros and cons. Yeah, we use them, bring out lessons and all of that, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? Beautiful. But also you got to have a balance. Proverbs 11:1, a false balance is an abomination to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have a balance. You can't be 24/7 on this damn phone. First of all, it's extreme radiation. It's full of radiation. Okay? And then it's messing up the natural cycle of life. All right? Verse 4, "We will not hide them from their children, showing to the generation to come the praises of Yahawah." Who? The praises of Yahawah and his strength and his wonderful works that he have done. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children. So you're supposed to be passing these things down. This is our heritage. This is our customs, our culture. You should have a sense of, hey man, I'm proud to be back into this. The word Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, that you woke me up, that you have an opportunity to be who you really supposed to be. Not to be out here living an artificial man-made life. The term African American and black and colored, that's artificial. That's man-made. That's not divine. The Most High didn't call you that. He never called you black. So these artificial terms, according to Deuteronomy 28:37, these bywords that are placed upon us, right? These things are man-made. You're still under the vibration and the titles that the YT man has given you if you still think you're an African American, man. Or if you calling on they false gods like Yahweh, Yeshua, Yahuwah, Jesus, you still under the YT man's vibration. All right. So how are you reforming? How are you getting rid of that old man if you're bringing in old ways? Right? Verse 6, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in Yahawah and not forget the works of Yahawah, but keep his commandments. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi brought us up out of Egypt. All right? Yahawashi led us via the chariot, a cloud by day, a pillar of fire by night. Okay? All through the strength and power of Yahawah. You can't forget these works. You talk about it like that was 4,000 so years ago, blah, blah, blah. You can't talk about it like that. Okay? These are things that we should reminisce about. And hey, he did that, he can do it again. Okay, this time, this Exodus is going to be far greater than the last. He did all those plagues to the last Egypt. He's going to do those plagues to this Egypt. He brought down that empire because Egypt back then was an empire. It was a known empire. So he had us in, as he always does. He has the bulk of us. He had us in the main empire that was ruling the earth. Where does he have us at right now? The main empire that's ruling the earth. And he brought the last one down. He's going to bring this one down to glorify him, to show his glory. He puts us in a position for him to be magnified. This is why you Jakes always talking, where was God doing slavery? It's all for a purpose. You could say the same question of where was God when Yahawashi had to go upon the cross? It's all for a purpose. You're not spiritual. It's showing that you never comprehended anything that the scriptures were saying. You understand? You never considered that, hey, we got to go through this. You never considered, and you never actually read Deuteronomy 28, 63, 64. Okay, read the book of Hosea. All right, read the book of Jeremiah. Read everything that we did towards the Most High. You think he was just going to let it slide? No. Would you let it slide? All right. Verse 8, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart all right, and whose spirit was not steadfast with Yahawah. Let's get a precept. Because the scriptures is there for you to reminisce and remember and to think about what transpired and what happened before. And that right there should instill fear in you. All right. And that fear should bring you to a better understanding. It should bring you to, to live correctly and to live properly. That fear, what? Leads you to wisdom. What's that? We persuade men. We persuade men by the fear. Trying to find this precept. If a brother know it, Baba Kashar, you could put it up. One second. Corinthians 5 and 11. Was it 1 Corinthians? Second Corinthians. And it reads, knowing therefore the terror of Yahawah, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto power, and I trust also are made manifest in your consciences. So we teach and we show you, call us prophets of doom or whatever. We show you all this stuff that's transpiring, all this stuff that's happening. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is visiting this earth. All right, he's doing this, he's doing that. He's bringing this down, he's bringing that down. Right? All this stuff that Esau has planned and that he's doing right now, this is all through the will and power of Yahawah. You're like, why is God doing it? You don't know the will. The will of the Most High is to destroy America, not to save it. All right? So anybody that falls into the trap of the internet, you're supposed to fall into that trap. If you get addicted to the internet, you get addicted to these little dumb apps, you get addicted to this fake social life, talking to people that you never met, all right, thinking that they cool with you and all that bullshit, okay? It's meant for you, man. It's meant for you. These are snares. Hey, what's they say in the world? Only the strong shall survive. That's what it's going to be. Okay? The strong in spirit. Those that have faith. All right? So, how do you get strong in faith? By studying, growing, fasting, praying, getting the proper breakdowns, getting the correct understanding, striving for the masteries, right? Not being stagnant, not being complacent, not being a procrastinator. Staying on your job, staying in the spirit, so therefore your spirit will grow. Going through things, trials, tribulations, chastisement, okay? Getting knocked down, getting back up. All these things are reps. You're going through reps. Yeah. Tell Allen Iverson, you need to practice. If he would have practiced, he might have won a championship. You know? So you need that practice. We need all the practice we can get. That's what this is. Okay? We are in practice to be kings and priests. Okay? So we need all the reps and the cycles that we can get to be able to judge the small things and the large things, the small matters and the large matters. Right? It ain't no point in this truth where you're there, you just got it. No, that ain't realistic. Let's go back to Psalm 78. Verse 8, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and a rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with power. You don't want to be of that, because that characteristic is the characteristic of a 2/3. To be stubborn and to be rebellious and to go against it is having a froward heart, a froward mouth, a froward mind, difficult. You're contentious. You always got something to say towards the truth, and you're never for the truth. The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back in the day of battle. They kept not the covenant of power and refused to walk in his law, and forgat his works and his wonders that he had showed them. Marvelous things did he in the sight of their fathers in the land of Egypt, in the field of Zoan. If you just reflect and remember what the scriptures say, what Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi has done before, then you know he can do it some more. He didn't fall asleep. He's not taking a nap. He works every single day. Okay? The sun is going to return. Okay? Don't get that woe is me, is he ever coming back spirit. A lot of these individuals got that. That's why they jumping ship. They falling away. They're falling to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, as the scriptures stated that they would. All right? This is that constant fight. They've given up the fight because their endurance and their stamina, their strength wasn't as strong. It's not about being physically strong, but it's about, did you grow correctly? And when you was doing the workouts, was you doing them properly in the right way? You can do 100 push-ups, but you do 100 ones wrong, then you ain't really doing nothing. It's not about doing them fast. It's about doing them properly and the correct way. All right. So, and that right there is because you need the correct understanding and the correct doctrine. Now, going back to Bishop Nathaniel talking about that we don't hate the YT man. That's not a proper foundation. When the scripture says that the Most High will have war with Amalek from generation unto generation. Last time I checked, you don't war with somebody that you love. All right? This is ongoing. This is a battle. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right? 2 Esdras 6 and 9. So this is letting you know that who's supposed to be in rulership at this point in time? The Edomites. Who's going to rule right after them? Jacob, Israel, Yasharahla. Okay? Things are set up, appointed times. We have an appointed time to rule. And it's coming up. It's right around the corner. And we can tell via the scriptures. You know? All right, let's move from that. Let's go to Sirach, the 18th chapter, Ecclesiasticus. And I'll start at the top. He that liveth forever hath created all things in general. Yahawah only is righteous, and there is none other but he. So the internet was something that was created. Yeah. It's like I said, it's pros and cons and everything. The way that Esau uses it on the con level is a major propaganda machine. The algorithms, how they set them up, where they can send you this, send you that, you know, and they can basically control what you see and what you don't see. A lot of brothers are what? Shadow banned. You know, that right there is evidence that Esau is using the internet for warfare. He's blocking the information stream. Why when I go on the internet, you know, let's say I'm looking for a GMS Brothers page, I got to type in his name exactly to the key. It's got to be perfect, or his page ain't going to come up, you know? But I type in IUIC North Carolina, that shit coming right up. It don't matter how I spell it. This is what you call shadow ban. This is what you call Esau. This is called information warfare. Okay? You got all these different type of warfares going on. You know? And I used to read the book, Behold the Pale Horse. It's one of those chapters is titled Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. All right? These psychological warfare going on. Now, if I stop the information, which is the truth, getting to you, then isn't that going to hurt you? Stopping lessons from getting to you, making it's accessible, but you got to dig harder. But hey, the diligent is going to come out on top, right? The ones that truly seek it. You seeking Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You're going to get past these curveballs that's being thrown at you. Verse 3, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will, for he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane. He established the wicked and the righteous. He established them all for an appointed time. So this devil has an appointed time to rule. And as we see by everything that the king Yahawashi stated, that time frame is almost over. Diverse wars, wars, rumors of wars, diverse earthquakes, famines, pestilence, okay? All this type of stuff is taking place. Stuff that we see Ezra's talked about, Jeremiah talked about, Isaiah talked about, Ezekiel talked about, Daniel talked about, right? These prophecies are popping off the page. And if you can't recognize them, then you honestly not a prophet. I mean, what are you? I don't know what to call that. You out here talking about America not going to be destroyed. Bro, put the phone down. Quit. It's over with. Your average Edomite on the street, Bob Davis Smith, he know that America about to be destroyed. He can see the collapse. He can look at you see the stock market, brother? The stock market is in turmoil, brother. Gold and silver is at a higher level than it's ever been, brother. You better get you some gold and silver, brother. All right? Your average Edomite can see this stuff taking place, and you can't. That's crazy. It don't make no sense. That leads me to believe, man, individuals just picking up phones and recording videos because they see a trend. They think it's a trend. All right? Verse 4. To whom hath he given power to declare his works? And who shall find out his noble acts? He declares his secrets unto the prophets. Right? So his friends. So the blueprint is given to the servants. Amos 3 and 7. Right? So he's not dealing with everybody. Everybody ain't got it. That's why we saying, though that Holy Spirit, when Yahawashi is supping with you, it's going to put you in a different position. You know? So you're going to use these tools like the internet. You're not going to use it to be watching PRN. You're not going to be using it to be watching Instagram models shake their ass. You're not going to be using it to do all that bullshit and all that folly that's going on. Oh, you're going to use the internet like a watchman. You're going to use it to articles, news, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, you might have pleasures and all that. Hey, that's whatever, man. That's here nor there. You know, but you're not going to get caught up in all the BS of the internet, the back and forth. All right? That right there, you're past that phase. You're done with that. You know? Verse 5. Who shall number the strength of his majesty, and who shall also tell out his mercies? As for the wondrous works of Yahawah, there may nothing be taken from them, neither may anything be put unto them, neither can the ground of them be found out. When a man have done, then he beginneth, and when he leaveth off, then he shall be doubtful. What is man, and whereto serveth he? What is his good, and what is his evil? The number of a man's days at the most are 100 years. This right here is a humbling chapter, man, to let you know that you are small and insignificant. Any importance that you have in this life, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi bestows that upon you. Okay? You didn't do nothing of your own accord. It's nothing that you could have done. Everything is predestinated. Read Ephesians, the first chapter. All right? You know, 1 Corinthians, what's that? 14:31, I believe. The matter of fact, let's get it. The spirits of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. I quoted a lot. Let's go get it. All right, it's nothing that you could have done to change your life. 1 Corinthians 14:32, and the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So, and that right there to everybody else, respective lots. The lot of a scoffer is his lot. He got to come back and scoff. The lot of a mocker is his lot. He got to come back and be a mocker. All right? You may be looking at your moms or your pops. Why they always, you know, I try to tell them the truth. They don't want to hear it. Well, that just may be their lot. Okay? To fall to a false prophet. That just may be their lot. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi brought them back to fall to that. But if you maintain and you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to bring them back in the kingdom. Because you were chosen. All right? What is it? One out of a city, two out of a family. You know, along the lines of that. So it's just because you came in the truth don't mean your brother gonna come in the truth. That's not how it works. All right. Verse 10. As a drop of water unto the sea, and a gravel stone in comparison of the sand, so are 1,000 years to the days of eternity. Therefore is power patient with them and poureth forth his mercy upon them. And you got to say the water Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All right, because we have been given mercy. You know, all the foolish stuff that we did, right? Regardless, you come into this truth, all of us got paths that was not desirable. Okay, that's not appealing to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, but we had to live that. We had to go through that. You know? And that's why I said, once again, you got to say Tawada Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, because the mercy was shown to you. Verse 12, he saw and perceived their end to be evil. Therefore, he multiplied his compassion. The mercy of man is toward his neighbor, but the mercy of Yahawah is upon all flesh. He reproveth and nurtureth and teacheth and bringeth again as a shepherd his flock. He hath mercy on them that receive discipline and that diligently seek after his judgments. Right? What I said earlier, the diligent is going to strive through. That's going back to that the strong is going to survive. Being strong in spirit, you know, being diligent, really loving. It's about your love factor. How much you love Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. You could talk about it, you could say it, but you got to prove it, man. Love is an action verb, man. It's an action word. All right, faith the same. It's action. It needs action. It requires action. Talk is cheap. Talk is is about as good as the American dollar these days, man. All right, that's what it's looking like. Let me see. We're gonna begin to wrap it up. Let's go to Romans 1. And let me see, 18. And it reads, unbelief and its consequences. So that's the caption of it. Every idle word shall be judged. Understanding that, going back to that, is that the stuff that you do on this internet, regardless if you do something and you delete it, it's still there. Esau is going to use that against you. You know, you can't just be reckless on here. All right. Like we said, people being shadow banned, pages being took down, all of that. All right. They got it on now on the TikTok where they don't care if you violated they guidelines, they policies last year, they'll still take your page down. You ain't do no violation after they brought out the policy, but you did it last year. They going through people's pages and taking pages down. Right? This is how Esau does, and that's the wickedness of, Isaiah 10:1. He'll just come with a new law and be like, okay, you broke this law last year. All right, we're gonna get you for it. You're like, man, that law is new in effect. What you talking about? I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's showing you, man, the rabbit. They say, ain't that no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Esau got the gun. Okay? He's running it right now. It's his appointed time to run it. You better Romans 13, man. These powers that are ordained by Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Okay? So it's not, you can't fight this in a physical way. All right? That's why you got to do these reps spiritually. You got to work it out. Our weapons are not carnal. 1 Corinthians, that's on the tip of my tongue too. Let me go get it. 2 Corinthians 10:4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through power to the pulling down of strongholds. And let's get 5. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of power, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. So you looking at Esau and you like, well, he got robots, he got drones, he got all this type of stuff. I need some type of warfare. No, verse 5 says, casting down imaginations. So all this stuff that he imagines to do to you, you're going to be able to cast it down. By what? By your spiritual defense. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, not carnal defense. Let's go back to Romans. on, Blue Letter tripping today, bro. All right, Romans 1 and 18. For the wrath of power is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Let me cut this light on. But that's another thing that Esau is doing. The internet, it sees everything. And these idiots, I saw this man, I think I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. I saw this video the other day of this dude. He was getting pulled over by the cops. He thought it was a good idea to drive, and he was on camera. He thought it was a good idea to just drive away. So now he getting chased by the cops. He did it all on camera. And like he said, man, just watch this shit.
Why you pulling me for it? For what? Y'all tripping, bro.
They done. They 2 through, man. And he bold enough to reach for the camera. Hey, I would have shot his ass. the cop on go. He on demon time. I believe you have a gun. All right. You know now the way the ICE is moving, they ready. They got itchy trigger fingers. And they got what? They got autonomy. They can do whatever they want to. Okay? That's a papa nigga get out of jail free card, you know? Okay? So the internet is out there to declare and to show all the sins of these people. These people out here literally recording themselves breaking the law. Like this is something, like this is a badge of honor. You got the OnlyFans. You got these women recording themselves being harlots. Okay? All this type of stuff, man. That's why we saying it's pros and it's cons of this thing. But wickedness, as we know, is 2/3 over 1/3. So wickedness is gonna be, in a sense, in more abundance, right? Than righteousness at this point in time. But the righteousness overwhelms the wickedness because the elect is greater than 2/3 in that sense, man. Those are the chosen that Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is gonna come back and get. All right, the 2/3 gonna have to come back and through reincarnation, regeneration, through the loins of a 1/3 man. You know, so you just gotta hold out through these overwhelming odds, all this stuff that's taking place, all this wickedness that you about to see on this planet. All right, the times of Noah. Noah had to live through that. He had to go through all of that and trust and believe that Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi was going to bring him through. That's ultimate faith. You got to think of how much faith he had to build a boat. It never rains. You know, he still built that boat, right? And Yahawah might have showed him some visions and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, and hey, think about that. We get dreams. Brothers get dreams. That should boost your faith. Do you need the dreams to boost your faith? No, you really don't. But it should boost your faith. You see chariots. That should boost your faith. If you don't see chariots, your faith shouldn't change. It shouldn't wither. You know, this is, you should constantly be increasing in that just faith. Okay, you should constantly be increasing day by day. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to it. Verse 19. Because that which may be known of power is manifest in them, for power hath showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. People know his demons out there. All right, these things are understood. We know Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is there. These things are understood. He has showed himself through signs and wonders, through dreams, through his prophets, right? So these invisible things, these principalities, right? These spirits that's over this place, America, we know they there, even though you can't see them. We know it's angels that encamp around about us. Okay? Even though you can't see them. That's faith. Verse 21. Because that when they knew power, they glorified him not as power, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. You know Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is real, but you don't prioritize him. You don't put him at the top, right? You got 24 hours in a day just like everybody else, but you waste it away, and you spend majority of that time doing worldly things, pleasures. Why not prioritize and put Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi at the top? Why not study? Why not watch videos, get the proper breakdowns, get the proper understanding? It's a time frame very soon, man, that's coming where you ain't gonna be able to come on to YouTube and get none of this knowledge. You ain't gonna be able to go on the Blue Letter Bible, and they're gonna shut these Bible apps down. Okay? The brothers in the UK already felt that with a Bible Hub. Is it Bible Hub? I used to use it. So it's a good little app. But they already felt that. So the things that we saying is not far-fetched. They can easily shut the Blue Letter Bible down. That's just a button. That's a click of a button. They can easily shut, whatever the Apocrypha, all these apps down. That's why it's good to have physical copies. So they can easily shut these things down, man. The internet, yeah, we believe it's going to be last, but it's going to get shut down. And it's going to get revamped. If you know what happened around 2020 with YouTube, right? They began to, you call it mopping the internet, sweeping the internet. They began to take a lot of stuff off of the YouTube to get it off of there. So, as I stated earlier, it's information warfare. A main part of warfare is disrupting communications. If your enemy cannot relay a message to the troops that's on the field, hey, that's better for you. It's better odds for you. So this is why they put all the metals in your food. This is why they spray chemicals in the air every single day. This is why they attack your children, and you, soon as you come out of the womb with needles after needles after needles, because they want to disrupt that communication that you have with Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. This is why they whitewash and do iconoclasm. Okay? These things are known. Verse 21 again, because that when they knew power, they glorified him not as power. You have been given an opportunity and a chance to know Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, and you didn't glorify him as power. You didn't glorify him. You didn't want to love him. You looked at him like he's nothing. Neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools and changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible men and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. You made idols upon these false gods. And this is what our people did. And this is what our people still do to this day. All right? You go off, you do the Christianity, you do the Catholicism. You do it. That's not in the scriptures, man. Okay? If you actually read the Bible, you would understand that's not in the scriptures. Verse 24. And for real, man, I was watching this movie. It's a detective movie. I forgot the name of it, but it's with the dude that played James Bond. But it's on Netflix. But it's pretty good. But in the movie, you got this Catholic pastor or whatever, and they do a confession. You got to go to this priest to do your confession. You be like, this is my last time I did confession. Man, what is that? The scriptures say go into your secret place. Talk to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. If you're not used to just, bro, when you driving around, maybe don't play no music or hey, put a video on. Or just sit in quiet and just talk to the Most High. Get used to doing that. Being in constant communication. That should be you should have an ongoing conversation with Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, just consistently, ongoing. It should be that comfortable. When he's supping with you, that's talking about him intimate. You should be close with Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Let me get a little bit more of this. I want to get 25. Okay. Wherefore power also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. What is heavy on the internet? Self-worship, lust, obsession, false, imaginatory lifestyles. Look at these Instagram models. They project a certain lifestyle, but they living in a 1-bedroom apartment with roaches and rats. These things have been, you have seen these things. All right. So stuff is artificial, man. And the people that you bask in this lifestyle that Esau has given you, you become like an Edomite. You become fake. You become artificial because you align with his society, with his system. And likes and comments and shares don't fucking matter. It doesn't matter at all. All right? I don't care if nobody's on the live. What does scripture say? The word will not go out void. It's going to hit who it's supposed to hit. And if whatever, we're going to prophesy to the wind. That's what the scriptures say. All right? So it ain't never about numbers. The elect is going to be the elect. The elect going to get good. They going to be straight. That's prophecy. They can't be plucked off. It ain't nothing that we can do to change any of that. So, I mean, really, hey, we just got to Yahawah, we be of that number and just do what we supposed to do and wait till them chariots come. That's it. This ain't a hard job. We got to go through Jacob's trouble. Yeah, but faith, we going to have faith. He going to put the spirit on us if we got to be martyred. He been protecting us. He been keeping us safe. I don't think he's just going to stop out of nowhere. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi don't work like that, man. All right? He's really going to keep his word. All right, let's get 25. Who changed the truth of power into a lie and worshiped and served the creature more than the creator who is blessed forever. Amen. In a perfect world, you would go on the internet and it would just be nothing. It would just be everything about Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Ongoing praise. But you don't see that. You see ongoing worship and praise of yourselves. It's nothing but vanity. That's why these things are, man, when, Kendrick Lamar, back when he was good, he made a song called Vanity Slaves, man. That's what these individuals are. They some vanity slaves. You know? I'm going to wrap it up with Amos 9, 8 through 10. Because this ran far too long. It's a spirit, though. Behold, the eyes of Yahawah power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith Yahawah. The internet is, in a way, these phones is like the Urim Thummim. Okay, what the priests used to have back in the day to look and to showcase the sins. So we see certain things, you know, going on, and it showcases. All right. That's why, you know, it's foolish. It's nothing but folly that's going on this internet. But you have the truth. You got the pros, you got the cons. But if you have a weak mind, a weak spirit, you're going to get caught up in the cons. You're going to get caught up in the BS. How many scams is going on? Especially on the Instagram, the TikTok. You got people jumping in your DMs, pretending to be this or do this or say that. Don't entertain none of that bullshit, man. But, hey, some people do be getting hemmed up and caught up. All right? Because of what? Of discernment, lack thereof, lust. You know, they got to work out these type of things. So this artificial society is designed to destroy you. That's really what it is. Anything Esau sets up, I don't care if it's medical, pharmaceuticals, it's set up to kill you. His medication that he gives you is set up to kill you. It comes with hella side effects. And he tells you about it. I mean, he don't lie about that. Yeah, you're taking this for this, but it's actually going to cause this, this, and this. Well, damn, my dude, just eat a grapefruit, man. Do you know that you can't take certain medication with grapefruit? Because grapefruit is like a natural medicine on the earth. Okay? The bitterness and all of that, right? You can't, the doctors will have to, they tell you, you can't eat grapefruit while you're taking this. It will kill you. That's crazy. If it's something that Esau is giving you and you can't eat something natural that's good for you, I don't think that something that you're taking is actually good for you. Why is it contrary to what the Most High created? It doesn't make no sense. Artificial. A lot of this medicine, a lot of these pharmaceuticals come from oil. If you look into that, a lot of these seed oils, the Crisco, the vegetable oil, all that bullshit come from oil. And I mean like oil that go in your car. You know, it's along that lines. Vegetables don't produce oil, man. You don't supposed to be ingesting this stuff. But once again, Esau, artificial, he giving you all this stuff. It's man-made. GMO, man-made. Vegan food, man-made. All right, impossible, beyond, man-made. This stuff is fake. It's not beneficial to you. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi sees all that. He don't need the internet to see all of this. His eyes is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. All right, he got angels all around. But if you don't got no faith, you're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe that he got angels sitting there watching you do everything that you do. So therefore, that would lead you to not having no fear of him. And you're going to have to find out the hard way. All right. Verse 9. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, which scattered all over this planet. Like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. You have, the men of Great Millstone, all right, the true men of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, putting out videos constantly, every single day, bro, all over the planet, okay? So if you still talking about this ain't gonna happen, that ain't gonna happen, America ain't gonna be destroyed, the chip ain't, the MOTB, you still talking about that, hey, you left behind, bro. You done got lapped like 5 times. All right, we done moved on. Okay, you know, we on like the last stage of this thing. It's about that time. Okay, DJT about to come down. Esau about to come down with great wrath, man, knowing that he has but a short time, and you still on some the white man can be. You still on that bullshit, bro. That's come on now. Okay, it's like you playing high school ball, but we in the NBA. You know, and the scriptures also state don't entertain foolish questions. You know, I say, like, from personal experience, if I have a question, I would go and search the elders' pages and try to find the chapter or, you know, what I'm looking for. If I can't find it over here, I can find it over here. If I can't find it over here, I'm gonna find it over here. The internet is it's a massive library, especially the pages of Great Millstone. It's a massive library, man. You got to learn how to use it. And that's a part of being diligent and not being lazy. All right. So, hey, man, with that being said, we'll wrap it up. Facing the east, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Heavenly Father and His Son. Once again, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the Great Millstone. As always, Shalawam to the Lord, to for elect. Kwam Yasharahla, and a Bible bar to His wicked kingdom. May Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi destroy this bitch yesterday. Let's get up out of here. Keep the faith, brothers and sisters. Shalawam, 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 shalawam.